Hello, my abonnees. Well, I'm busy in the background cleaning and just singing in my mind. Well, I hear a lot of people playing loud music passing in the streets. My streets, American Sky, they just get up in the morning. But in my streets, one street down, a lot of people stand outside. And you have those who driving in trucks and they throwing sweet on the floor so they can pick it up on the floor. If you ask me, I see it's very insulting. I think if they want to really give people sweet, they need to come down and give it to them, not throw it on the floor so people can pick it. It looks interesting, but if they have conscious mind, they will understand they just treat them like dogs. So I'm not there. Last year, my girlfriend asked me to go. I was standing there. I see people picking sweet on the floor. I get like, what the heck? I'm not picking it because it's ridiculous. I mean, people can buy it in the shop, but when it's for free, they throw it on the floor and they're picking it like dogs. Honestly, I hope maybe 10 years from now, the people will look back and understand. It is very insulting when people have to throw the sweet on the floor and then they have to pick it up on the floor. So instead of I talk about the ones who lose their mind right now and the ones who really think it interesting, I was singing in my mind. So I wanted to do a karaoke, but instead of I look for the sound, which has already been there the last 500 years, every time when we get our body out of us, they can mix the sound and use the voices from out of the graveyard, which is the body of the people. One girl that is 20 years old, that body is 520 years old. The body come out of the body that is all in the graveyard. Yeah. I know they always say the grandmother have the child, but the child is the mother of the grandmother up there. Because the child will have the new body for the grandmother that is about to drop dead up there. Grandmother travel with the body, and then the grandmother come back in the lap of the little girl that become 30 years old. Now, let me try to express what I was singing in my mind. Even when the clouds are fading, even when the storm is breaking, don't let you down. I will be around. Let the feeling show. You don't have to worry, 'cause it's not too late. Even till the end, everything gonna be alright. Let the feeling show. Let it beat your soul. You have to know. Just live your life. You don't have to think about what really going on. Let the feeling show. Just live your life. You are only on the list till the time come when you have to change your new face. Everyone is worried too much, because every time you watch the news, they always show you bad news. You have to know, every day there are people having fun. Someone is dead, someone just have a child. Let the feeling show. Let it beat your soul. Just live your life. I think it's so obvious. The ones who watching the show, they laughing at us. When a young baby came out of the stomach today, the young baby don't see the future. The young baby is just a little baby. Baby got feed and everything. The baby only sleeping and waking up, sleeping and waking up, sleeping and waking up. And then 30 years later, the baby wake up. Like, I grew up. They know you never grow up. You just sleep and wake up and sleep and wake up and sleep and wake up. What you made of yesterday is still inside the body. I was thinking in the kitchen. One drop out of the man, which is a woman, of a JJ is closed. She cannot get any beef out of her, but the beef stay inside. The gate is closed. She cannot get it out. One drop came out of that body into the other body. There is one drop coming out. What is going on in the mind of the women that become men? I mean, they have to travel with all the flesh inside of them. They have to travel with all the thousands of drops inside of them. They have a lot of thinking in there. Thinking. They can build big things because they have the generation inside. It is trapped in there. They can get it out. So I can imagine what's going on in the minds of the ones who creating the war. If all the women who have 6 children, if those children have to stay inside of them, I can imagine what will happen. I have 5 children. Imagine if I have them all inside of me. That's what's going on in the mind of the guys. When they have a JJ's closed, they have no way to get it out. They think they drop the paint. They think that's my child. No, you drop a paint, the skin, the flesh stay inside of you. When the gate is closed under, you cannot get it out. It stays in. One orgasm is not 1,000. You have the skin of the people inside of you and the flesh of the people inside of you. It is stuck with you till the day you go 6 feet. So in your mind, there's so much going on. Don't call it lucky to create things. You have a whole universe inside of you. But if by any luck, when you change body, you become a woman, time to time you can get them out of you. If you have your child inside of you, your child is not coming out of you. Your child is supposed to be 40 years old. They stuck inside of you. They talk to you. You're like, well, I went to school alone. Well, what happened if the two of you were twin, you came out of your mother, you sit in the same classroom, and then they teaching both of you. You both listen together. You both repeat together. So when you repeat what you repeat, they're listening inside of you. Now you have this 40 years of age man that is inside of you. Another 20 years of age is inside of you. The 1 year of age is inside. The 2 is in. The 3 is in. The 4 is in. It's all trapped in. You can't get it out. And you're there thinking, imagination. I mean, 20 of you can build a mighty building. Do you really believe it's 20 of you in the mind? Joe Jackson never get any flesh out of him. Katherine Jackson gets 10 out of her. Imagine the 10 that is so big. 1 died. 9 is stuck inside Joe Jackson. He get the paint out, but not the flesh. What is going on in the mind of Joe Jackson when he is just a woman? Don't forget, Katherine Jackson's mother is a woman. Joe Jackson's mother is a woman, not a man. Joe Jackson's mother make him. He's supposed to have children, but the 9 children stuck inside of him. He watched the opposite. He think that's my children. No. His gateway is closed to get them out. But he creates music and stuff and so on. It's the same as most of you, the guys out there. So when you fight in war, try to understand where it's coming from. The ideas you get in your mind. If Michael Jackson don't get along with Joe Jackson, if Michael Jackson stuck inside Katherine Jackson, what will have happened? How will she react when she have Janet inside of her, Michael Jackson inside of her? The body. The body is supposed to come out. It doesn't come out. You need the body out to drive the wind. The wind have no faces. The wind is in charge of the new faces. We admire the faces when they came out. Like I said the last time, I don't care how much you watch the faces in the street, you cannot recognize all the faces. You only know few. Your mother, your father, your girlfriend, your best friend. If you have 1,000 friends, please tell me, will you know their faces? You will know 20. You will recognize the ones you already see, but you will not have 1,000 friends. It's impossible. You can have 1,000 audience. It doesn't mean you know them. Your eyes can watch big, but your eyes cannot memorize all the faces. That's the tricky part about it. Because the faces is coming from the inside out. All the faces we watch right now, 120 years later, all this face is in the graveyard. 120 years later. But before our faces go in the graveyard, we have grandchildren that have these faces inside, and they can get them out again, but we cannot see it because we become the children and they will be growing up. Well, we don't see, it's just the same face going round and round and round. The only thing we just focus on our mother and our father and our teacher and the doctors and stuff. But you cannot see, it's the same face going around and around. The pictures always switch because the relationship is always switch. And there's this miracle that just make a beautiful face, expression, and travel with it, capture it in the movie, singing, beautiful, sexy body. The girls yesterday, very sexy. 100 years later, you cannot put them next to the 30 years of age. But they are the sexy faces. They travel. Mother Nature is in charge of the energy. Energy can pretend to be God, but Mother Nature is in charge of it. You know what I noticed from the sunlight this morning? It's so fucking bright here. I don't know about your sky. I wake up this morning and then the consciousness says to me, the sunlight is not a man, it's a woman. I know I posted a video about it. I know I was saying Lucifer is not a man, but the devil doesn't own the sunlight. The consciousness owns the sunlight. I was sitting outside and then I sit on a chair and I'm watching the sunlight in the sunlight with my eyes. And the sunlight is bright and bright and they're shooting the chemtrail and then I'm watching the energy in the sunlight. And then suddenly, I'm thinking, it takes Mother Nature to make the faces to come out to see the light. That's why they have to block the sunlight, because they protect themselves against the sunlight. They capture the shadow of the sunlight to make the light in the houses, to make TV shows. But mankind itself is afraid of the sunlight. But I'm not afraid of the sunlight because I have permission to look inside the sunlight because the energy is inside my eye. That's why I have some doubts that the system pretending they can see the sunlight, but they all have big dark glasses. I know I have dark shades, but it's not for the sunlight. It's only to post video. My eyes can look inside the sunlight. And when I'm watching, they're shooting chemtrail to hide, to make sure that something don't happen. They're preventing me against the sunlight. I don't know why. The minute I'm watching, they're shooting to hide something. But time will tell. But I know always, whenever I'm watching the sunlight and then there's this round color of rainbow around it, and then they put dust to hide it. Goodbye.